Hello, everybody, and welcome to the 10th episode of the Geekcast podcast. My name is Greg St. Clair.
Dan Whitehead.
Patrick Howard.
Why are you laughing? Why is that funny?
I was a little too excited.
He
about
was
that
too overzealous.
Overzealous?
Yeah,
Dude.
that's a big word for me. So
Can't you just be zealous?
No.
Okay, you just got to be over, don't you?
Yeah, I do.
Over, not
There
under.
is no zealous.
Well, yeah, there is.
I think you can only be overzealous.
I think you can be zealous too.
You can?
Yeah.
You think so?
I
feel so much lower than you guys.
Have you taken English class? You're sitting in a camp chair right now.
Well, I'm comfortable.
It's very
I'm not saying you're not.
I feel like I'm
comfortable.
standing when I look at you just now. So, I guess it doesn't really feel any different.
No.
But
Did you think of a pick of the week?
do you see what I got here? I'm picking my nose. I mean, we could think of one.
Yeah.
On the spot.
Do you want to go? Yeah, go for it. On the spot.
Oh, hold on, something's calling.
Yeah, let's turn your phone not on vibrate.
It is on vibrate. Oh, it's KJ calling. Should I answer it on air?
Yeah, answer it on air.
Caller, you're on the air.
Hello.
Hello, what's up?
How are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm very, very good. I do have a question for you.
Okay, what's up?
How much do you charge?
Oh, I charge quite a bit.
Oh, how much is that?
At least 6 figures.
Why not $5.99?
I'm sorry?
Why not $5.99?
$5.99 because that's just too cheap and I don't work for that.
Okay, I think $5.99.
Okay, come around to the next window.
$5.99?
Yes, $5.99.
What's I get?
What's that?
What's I get for $5.99?
Oh, I can show you the world for $5.99.
Ooh. You know lie?
I know lie.
Ooh. You give me all the services?
All the services.
Can you tell me on the podcast already?
Look at my head. Look at. Okay. Oh, okay.
Tell me right now.
Sir, you know you're on a podcast, right?
I do.
Oh, okay. Just making sure.
That's the worst part. Oh my god.
All right. Well, thanks.
No. Hello?
Oh, we're still here.
Oh, okay. Knock.
Who's there?
These nuts.
You totally walked into that one.
I did.
Alright, tell me where to go.
All right, we gotta go. Well, thanks for calling in.
Bye.
Bye.
That was KJ, everybody.
Yes, that was KJ.
That's
We'll
our
have
friend
him on
KJ.
now.
Yeah, and you can hear all
That
this.
was perfectly timed.
That
That
was.
couldn't have been any better. That wasn't planned, by the way,
That was not planned.
for our special 10th episode or something like that. That was just really worked out well. Hopefully you get to hear him because it was on speakerphone in my mic, and I think it'll be okay.
Yeah, cool. Did you think of a pick of the week in that short amount of
I
time?
think that was
You know,
our
it
pick
kind
of
of
the
threw
week.
me off. I was too distracted listening to him. Let's see. What did I see in the last week that I thought was really cool? I'm gonna do Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Did I take yours?
Yeah, you did. No.
Haha. It's an old movie, 1986, but one you probably should see.
It is definitely a cult classic.
Yeah,
is.
and I liked it for just its simplicity and like the plot is, I mean, obviously simple. This kid wants to stay home from school. Like who?
Yeah,
doesn't
but
wanna
it's
do
so
that?
well thought out.
Right, but it's more than just that. But like when it gets down to it, that's really just what the plot is. And so definitely check that out. John Hughes, the director, and I believe the writer as well.
Yeah. It's rumored that he wrote that within a week. It's rumored that he wrote that within a week.
Oh, okay. I couldn't hear you what you said. Yeah, he wrote that in 6 days, and
This in a week.
within a week is 6 days.
It's 7 days.
Okay. Sorry. I guess IMDb is wrong.
I was just saying.
That just got really weird. Anyways, He also did Breakfast Club, 16 Candles, Weird Science. He wrote Home Alone, all of the Home Alone movies. And to finish off his career before he passed away, he unfortunately had to write Drill Bit Taylor.
That was funny.
It really was.
That was funny.
It was okay.
Oh, come on.
He wrote the story for it. He didn't write the screenplay, just the story for it. So Ferris Bueller's Day Off, though, long story short, is my pick of the week.
Okay. Pat?
Oh, man, I'm still thinking.
Okay.
I need something to correct you on. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No. Greg, you go.
My pick of the week is, it's a book. It is Judd Appatow's book, Sick in the Head. It came out earlier this year. And it's basically Judd just interviewing a whole bunch of different comedians. So it's not like your standard, paragraph book. I think I talked about this last episode, too.
You might have,
at least in some reference. So it's just like Judd said this, and then Jerry Seinfeld said this, and there's different chapters and everything. And it's really interesting because Judge whole shtick is I just want to know everything. I want to know everything there is to know about everything, and I want to talk to everybody. Also, in high school, he was on his radio station there, and he interviewed Jerry Seinfeld, Jay Leno, back when they were starting out before they were even who they are today. Mm-hmm. And since then it's just been interview after interview with him, just trying to give find everybody's perspective on what they think about the lifestyle they chose of being involved in comedy in some minor aspect. But definitely a great book to read. Highly recommend it.
So it's not like a normal paragraph form. It's just interview after interview.
Yeah. So there's each chapter is a different interview.
Are there initials with each kind of paragraph that are in there?
Well, yeah. Well, it's not a paragraph, so it's Judd :
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah. Jerry : yeah, and then that's pretty.
I see. And then it's like a transcript. Basically.
Yeah, pretty much. In a way.
Yeah.
Mine's kind of lame, but I found it interesting. Is the Thomas Edison Museum in New Jersey.
Cute.
Oh, it's so great.
Yeah, sure. But it was really interesting. If any of you guys are interested in
it's actually the state park.
Thank you, Dan.
Heard it's done. Mm-hmm.
Fair. Okay, but yeah, if you guys are interested in really early filmmaking, I suggest you guys go check it out.
Yes, and the only thing I was disappointed about that, because I went on that trip too, was the Black Mariah was not the original Black Mariah.
Yeah, it was from when they made it in the 50s.
Yeah, I was very excited to see the original, and it was a replica made in 54 or 55, something like that. And obviously it was done to scale for the most part and everything, but it just wasn't the same. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't even in the same location. He was the guy Carmen, the tour guide, was it was down the hill over there a little bit, but we just put it here as the replica. They put it here as the replica. It's so you can see why don't you just put it where it was?
Put that thing back where you came from, or so help me.
Greg, you went already.
I did go already. Thanks for paying attention. So this week, or this past week, great things have been happening. The premiere of The Flash happened on Tuesday. The premiere of Arrow happened on Wednesday.
Yes.
And episode 3 of Gotham happened on Monday.
Yes.
And both of those shows equally fantastic. Each one in their own way, I think.
Yes.
Yes. Dan, I'm looking at you, Dan.
Yes.
Because Patrick here is buttface.
For many reasons.
I know what you guys,
he just has
I got a feel for it.
So before we start talking about the episodes, forewarned spoiler alerts for each episode.
Yeah, spoilers, Pat. Did you want to step out of the room?
No, I'm fine. You can go ahead and spoil.
You sure?
I'll probably forget by the time I watch the episodes.
Yeah, he doesn't give a shit.
I give a shit, but just not.
We even got Rachel Pollack in on Flash and Will Pfeiffer. They're
How
cool.
Our team is growing.
My friends on Flash and Arrow.
You're welcome if you're listening.
My little brother, for example, is a huge fan. He was very excited about both shows.
So I'll just give you a little plot summary. Should we do Gotham first? I guess in order.
Yeah, let's do Gotham Monday night.
Okay, so Gotham on Monday. Obviously, where we'll go back to summarize the season because we haven't talked about it yet. So basically, where we left off from season 1, Fish Mooney died. She dumped. Sorry, again spoilers. She was pushed off.
Died.
Yeah.
Quotes around died.
She went to sleep.
She was pushed off the building by Penguin, and then he stood up there and he's like, "I'm the king of Gotham."
But she landed in a body of water. And anybody who's seen any movie ever, when somebody lands in a body of water, it does not mean they're dead.
Most likely, she's probably not going to come back, but there's definitely a possibility she could.
Yeah.
That's what they wanted, and So that happened, and then Barbara
Gordon.
Keene.
No, Bob Keene.
Yeah, she basically went bananas and got locked up in Arkham, which I think was the first episode of the new season.
No, that was she was already
finale?
locked up at that point.
Okay,
Barbara Keene was Jim Gordon's ex-girlfriend
and fiance at one point.
Point. And then Barbara was not very happy about Jim keeping secrets from her from the force, as most women are not.
So she dipped, then he moved on very quickly
to Dr. Lee.
Dr. Lee. Well, what's her last name? Lee
Thompson.
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 Yeah. Who were actually getting married in real life and having a child together.
Yeah, I heard that was cool.
So that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Hopefully they name him like Jim or Bruce or something clever.
Something
fitting to Gotham.
Yeah.
Just name him Gotham because celebrities like to name their kids weird things anyway.
Like
so
Apple.
why not? Like Apple, right?
Thanks, Gwen.
Yeah, and lead singer Coldplay. Isn't it Coldplay that she's married to? The lead singer Coldplay.
That just makes it so much worse. Oh god, I don't like Coldplay.
You just don't want to be considered gay.
Well, virgin. What? I don't even know what that means.
You never seen 40-Year-Old Virgin?
Is that
You know how I know you're gay?
Yeah.
I forgot you watched it this weekend.
I did.
No, I don't like Coldplay, and I think the best explanation of Coldplay that I've ever heard was actually the one from Family Guy, where Peter's like, "Hey, I have an idea. How about we play something that's not whiny bullcrap?" Like, I think that's pretty much all their music.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean,
Greg St. Clair said that. Not any of other us.
Yeah, I'm just not. I mean, I acknowledge some of their popular songs are catchy and
yeah.
What do they have? Clocks.
Yeah, Clocks, Speed of
Viva
Sound.
La Vida or Viva.
Yeah.
I like that one.
I mean, they're all like catchy songs, but they're not one of my favorite artists because I think all their stuff sounds the same.
Right on. So anyway, now in season 2, this guy who is named
Theo
Galvan, thank you, comes blazing into Arkham Asylum and picks up a couple of guys. One of them being Barbara Keene, so girls. One of them being Jerome. And Jerome, I don't remember his like Vasquez, I think is his last name. He was the one that
which is really weird for a ginger to be called
Jerome.
Well, Jerome like Vasquez. Vasquez.
So he's got a black first name and a Spanish last name.
Well, I mean, I don't think you have to classify Jerome as a black first name, but
I've only
Vasquez
ever heard it as
is definitely a Hispanic last name. See, you just what did you just do? What did you just say?
What?
Never mind. Continue.
Is it? You think it's racist?
A little bit.
All right, then I apologize. Because actually, you know what?
Black demographic. Damn it.
Actually, the kid my brother went to Australia with was named Jerome. He was white, and he looked like Drew Carey. I shouldn't have said that part 'cause that was like a inside joke. But so
that kid's listening now. It's like, what?
No, he knows. Like,
he knows
people have called him
Carey?
that. Yeah. He doesn't like it. That was the whole.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyways, so I apologize for saying that, but. So Jerome, and they take some of the other guys. I don't remember their names. They're not really important.
Well, Sionis was one, and Sionis is the Black Mask villain in the Batman universe.
Right, and they killed him off.
They did kill him off.
Which was interesting.
They did kill him off.
Which
was very interesting.
Quite roughly.
Because he could have been a potential like big dog later on in the series.
Well, he's a big villain.
He's a billionaire.
Yeah. And he's like the equivalent of like a penguin. Like they're both kind of like mobsters. They kind of are the new Falcone and...
I wouldn't call Black Mask a mobster.
No, but he's like... he sells
he has his guys, but
Two-Face
has his guys. Would you call Two-Face a monster? Or a mobster?
Yeah.
Really?
I would, yeah.
I wouldn't call Two-Face
He's a gangster. He's a mobster, yeah.
I would not call Two-Face a mobster.
No, I'm not Two-Face. Penguin.
Well, yeah, but Two-Face has his guys. Like, would you call Two-Face a mobster?
Not really.
No, but Penguin, yeah, that's what I meant to say. If I didn't say it
no, you said it correctly, but I was saying, like, I wouldn't call him a
mobster. If he had started, like, in the Mafia, then I would have...
I think Penguin definitely is.
Well, absolutely.
But then what's the difference then from Black Mask?
Because he's not in the mob. He's just a rich guy who likes to beat up
Well, all right, what classifies being in the mob? Or being a mobster?
Being in the mob.
Yeah, but maybe he has his own mob.
No. You don't just start up your own mob.
Yeah, I think you do. You can be like, you know what? I'm going to start a mob, and then you like buy guns and you sell them illegally through your laundromat.
It's like a
Are you telling us your master plan right now, or like?
You mean how to launder money?
No, that's not laundering money. It's laundering guns.
No, but a lot of people use laundromats to launder money.
Yeah.
I think that's where the title comes from.
Maybe, probably not, but continue.
Probably not. So this season so far, they basically turn into like a team of villains. Not so much Suicide Squad.
Maniacs.
They're maniacs?
They're called the Maniacs.
Oh, okay. So the Maniacs, and Theo sends them out to basically like take down Gotham because he's all mad that they didn't give his family credit for helping build Gotham. They gave all the credit to the Waynes. And Jerome is kind of like his right-hand man, his head honcho there.
Who is the man.
He is the man. This kid is brilliant as an actor.
Was the man.
He was the man. Rest in peace, Jerome.
Rest in peace. R.I.P.
He was brutally stabbed in the neck by Theo himself in the 3rd episode. And it was a big surprise for me.
It's Valeska. This is his last name, not Vasquez.
Oh.
Vasquez is somebody else.
It's
I think
Vasquez
I think Vasquez was the female commissioner.
That's what it is.
Who also passed away. R.I.P.
All right. Yeah, we took a lot of hits the first 3 episodes.
We've taken a ton of hits, man.
Well, the Gotham, I don't know where they get their police force from because they like every episode they lose a couple of people. Like,
well, I mean, like they said they lost like 6 people. They did not lose 6 people. They lost at least 20 people in that shooting.
I think it was up to 9, and then but that shooting though was just like, and they were just mauling people. Well, you got to remember some of them might have just gotten injured, like shot, but like lived, and then others might have been like really bit the bullet and died. So,
maybe.
Who knows? Anyway, so now the end of episode 3.
Cameron Monaghan is the actor who plays
he's
Jerome,
yeah.
and he's really big in Shameless.
Yeah, he's one of the main characters, yeah.
And continue.
Oh, so he dies. You get to see Alfred kick some more ass, which is always exciting.
And you also get to see him flirt with Lee.
Oh my god, that was too funny.
He starts to flirt with Lee.
He doesn't know that she's with Jim.
And she has no idea. And Bruce is watching this the whole time. And then the end of the episode, like Gordon and Lee like meet up, and then they're kissing. And Alfred turns around and is like, "Oh, bloody hell." He's like, "You knew this, didn't you?" And Bruce is like, No, I had no idea.
Yeah, so he was basically letting Alfred look like an ass. He's like asking him like, "Oh, you're so pretty. Would you want to go out sometime?" She's like, I like, and every time she tries to like tell him, like something would interrupt them. Uh-huh. And so like she never got a chance to tell her. And
the entire time you're just watching it be like incredibly awkward. It's like
Yeah, because you like no, it's like one of those where you just want to smack Alfred in the face, and it's like she's not interested, but you can't because it's television.
Is that what happens?
Yeah, but then we get to see Bruce kind of like pass him a gun secretly and shoot down some people. So that was pretty cool.
Bruce is continuing to be Batman, and it's great.
Yeah, I like that actor. He's a good actor. David Moretz. David something.
Bruce's name.
He was in that show Touch with Kiefer Sutherland.
David Mazouz.
Yeah, he's a really good Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
The cow goes.
Mazouz.
Brucey big ears though.
Yeah, well, he has to have his bat ears. That's his towel. they're get added on.
David, we love you, but you got big ears, dude.
Well, he's
gonna grow into them. He's like, how old is he?
13, maybe?
13, probably now.
Age 13. As of February 2014. So that means he's 14 now.
14?
It says on IMDb, it says age 13 as of February 2014. So, but we're in 15 now, so that means he's 14.
He's almost 16.
He's 14 right now.
He's almost 15.
He'll be 15 in February.
But what I was going to say was, it's probably very hard to be Bruce Wayne not knowing you'll probably never be Batman. And to make it interesting, and he does that. He makes it enjoyable.
I think it's the fact that he's not like just sitting down moping about his parents. I mean, he is, but he's doing something about it.
Right, they're making him really interesting instead of just like a mopey character, like you were saying.
Yeah,
and I guess let's say, I mean, the show would have to continue for at least 10 years. I think I figured it out for him to even be close to Batman.
Well, I feel like. Maybe for the last season, shows do this a lot where they'll just do a time jump, in 10 years for the last season, or maybe for the last episode.
Was choking.
Well, the creators say that no matter what the last episode is, whether they get canceled soon or whatever, it's going to be him putting on the cowl.
And all that's going to consist of is him opening a cabinet or something, and you see the mask and stuff, and then him grabbing it. Mm-hmm. And maybe a silhouette of him putting it on. Yeah. You'll never see him in Batman fighting form.
I mean, they can do what they did in Boy Meets World, but all of a sudden they jump from 3rd grade to 6th grade out of nowhere.
Okay, well, they were never in 3rd grade.
What?
They didn't start in third grade.
It was like
sixth grade.
They started at least in fourth grade.
No.
It was like middle school.
Sixth grade.
Who are you talking to right now?
Sixth grade, and then they jumped, I think, to eighth grade. I think they skipped seventh grade. And then it was like 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th. And then like first year of college.
Continuity errors. Here we go.
All right, I guess I'll talk in the meantime.
Yeah, keep talking.
Stupid question. Anyway, so that was Gotham. Gotham is very, very exciting. I'm glad that they're finally doing more serialized version instead of Monster of the Week. I think that was their big problem the first season, was they were trying to do too much in a too quick amount of time, so like the shows just seemed bloated.
Too many villains,
yeah. I don't know if you're getting that now that you're watching it.
Yeah, I'm seeing that. Yeah, it's like it's a villain for each episode, basically.
There's no
overarching.
Like in story. Arrow, there's always that background villain, whether he's in it in every episode or not. You know his presence is there, and so they're kind of doing that they did it with the Theo character, and I guess now he's still around, so he'll still be there, but I'm sure eventually they're getting close to doing somebody else. Oh, you're smiling. Did you find the answer?
In Season 3, Mr. Turner calls Sean a 15-year-old kid, which is the average age for a 9th or 10th grader. And it does say they started in 6th grade. But 2 years later, he's in 9th and 10th grade?
Well, that's just bad writing. That's just...
No, so now you know we're correct.
Whoa. Do not comment on the writing of Boy Meets World, Patrick.
Boy Meets World is close to gold.
I don't care if you made
it. It is. They have great writing, but still, that's a mistake.
There's a lot of tension. I don't really care for it.
I didn't even. What did you just say? I wasn't even paying attention.
I know. I was saying how the show got to be more serialized this season, and I like that more.
No.
Instead of Villain of the Week. I mean, they could still have their Villains of the Week, but there's still like someone else that they can fall back on, like that's still causing trouble.
Any predictions of the future? What's the villain that's coming in this week? Is there a new villain?
It's still Theo's still around. And Barbara's still around. They're teasing that she could be a female Joker, which I don't want to see. I want to see a male Joker because that's Joker's male. Or just take a break from Joker for now. Like, you kind of got all our hopes up with Jerome and then killed him. So now, like, be like, okay, no Joker for a while. Go on to someone else. You know, and then, like, pick on somebody else for a little while.
Pick on somebody your own side.
Go back to Riddler a little bit. Riddler's wonderful.
Oh, my God. When he made that jump and he has the whole schizophrenic the phases where he like sees himself in like another self.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so good. It's so good. Oh man,
I've never seen that in other versions of the Riddler. I don't think.
No, I mean it's definitely one of his characteristics.
Sure,
but you definitely don't. No, I think they do that.
Riddler and Joker have a lot of similar like attributes.
The only thing is that like Joker isn't like a blatant narcissist. Like, Joker, like, just does it because he can, and, like... But he's not like, I'm going to do this because I know I can. You know what I mean? Like, Riddler's like, I'm the best, and I'm going to show everybody.
Right. And he, like... Well, that's why he tries to, like, toy with people with his riddles and stuff. Whereas, like, Joker is just like, I think this is fun. I'm going to do it just for me.
Yeah, Riddler's more consistent than the Joker.
Right. Riddler's like, you get a riddle, you solve it. You get a riddle, you solve it. Joker's like, I'm going to kill this person today. I'm going to blow up this today. I'm going to whatever. So it's all over the place. He's more chaotic.
Right.
But yeah, they have similar things. Okay, so Flash. We'll jump to Flash now.
The Flash.
Are you cool to give a summary of it, or do you want to like look up something else?
Yeah, if I can recall. So season 2 starts out, the very first scene, which is really cool, is Barry as the Flash taking on Captain Cold and Heatwave. And he does so. And he comes back to Star Labs.
Right.
And, you know, save the day, whatever, comes back. He's shaking hands with Joe. He's shaking hands with Cisco, Caitlin, Dr. Stein. And then all of a sudden, Eddie shows up. And he's shaking hands with Eddie.
And Harrison Wells.
And then Harrison Wells comes up and he's shaking hands with Harrison Wells. And I'm freaking out. And Ronnie's there too. That's then all of a sudden it's just some fantasy,
right?
And then it cuts to Barry just standing in Star Labs alone. And you find out later in the episode that during the dimensional black hole whatever, that Barry couldn't keep up the stabilization of the black hole to destabilize it,
right?
So Firestorm, Ronnie and Dr. Stein had to go up there and like blow up something to officially destabilize it.
I was a little confused by that.
And as they did, it caused it created, or they had to use a lot of their energy. So as they fall, Barry sees Dr. Stein, grabs Dr. Stein, and realizes that Ronnie's not there. Mm-hmm. So you find out that Ronnie is gone.
Right.
And notice how I say gone and not dead.
Right. He's not. Robbie Amell, so confusing, has said that we haven't seen the last of him.
Yeah, my theory is that he's just in some other dimension. He's in another universe.
Be very well in Jay Garrick's dimension.
Yeah, but I think he's in some other universe.
So go on with the story.
So, the main thing for the day is it's Flash Day, because it's been like 6 months since the black hole has happened.
Right.
And Central City is having a Flash Day to celebrate, the Flash's thing. But Barry's like, I wasn't the hero that day. It was Ronnie, because Ronnie's gone, and he feels a huge amount of guilt right now.
Absolutely.
And now he's on his own. So Joe's not helping him. Caitlin works for
Mercury Labs.
Cisco works for CCPD, which is pretty cool. Iris is still doing her newspaper article journalist thing.
Her Irish thing.
And so he's all alone, and then Barry eventually makes the decision to come to Flash Day after kind of being convinced by Joe and Iris and everybody. And as he's there, the Atom Smasher shows up, who is played by the wrestler The Edge, for you early WWE fans. I know I am. And the Atom Smasher's shtick is that he absorbs radiation and can grow to exponential lengths and is pretty much virtually indestructible.
I didn't like the Atom Smasher.
You didn't like him?
No, I didn't think he was well done.
Explained?
Well, yeah, well explained. I think they just kind of knew he was going to be like a one and doneer, because he perishes at the end. Mm-hmm. And he was just there to pass on a message, introduce Zoom without introducing Zoom. Mm-hmm. And they didn't so it seems like they didn't put a lot into his visual look. So he looked very cartoonish almost. It didn't.
Oh, as far as him growing and everything?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, everything that's special effects in that show is kind of cartoonish.
There's things that are plenty better though. Firestorm looks really good, but then Grodd, not so much. I think they're bigger creatures, or what usually lack for me.
Well, I mean,
they're really stretching.
The way he would grow is kind of how Bruce Banner turns into the Hulk, where each muscle bulges and he just keeps getting big. It's honestly how I felt like it was. It wasn't not the same quality as an Avengers movie,
right?
But I think that's what they were going for, and I think they did it.
Yeah.
But anyway, so the Atom Smasher comes in and is trying to kill Barry Allen, and this is pretty much the entire plot line for the rest of the episode. Barry comes back to Caitlin and officially apologizes for whatever. And the other thing that's really interesting is Harrison Wells' lawyer, Harrison Wells, air quotes around that, comes to Barry because Barry was granted caretaker of Star Labs after Harrison Wells, air quotes, passes away. Mm-hmm. And the lawyer gives Barry a flip drive that has his last will and testament, whatever, on it. So as Barry is apologizing to Caitlin later in the episode, they decide to watch it together. Mm-hmm. And Harrison talking about I know you, whatever, you never be anything without me, some along those lines. And Barry's starting to get really, really upset. And then all of a sudden Harrison Wells says something along the lines of, you can erase the rest of this video, and this is for you. And Harrison Wells confesses to murdering Barry's mother. Murdering Barry's mother.
What's his mother's name?
No.
Something Allen. What the hell is his mother's name? Henry Allen and Nora.
Nora Allen.
I kept thinking Moira, but that's from...
No,
that's from
not Moira. Don't even say
Nobody's
that
Moira.
Don't even say that name in here, okay?
Unless you're giving her all good amends.
Yeah.
Oh, she was awesome.
R.I.P. R.I.P. Moira Queen.
And Nora Allen.
But so he confesses to Nora's murder.
Yes.
And by the end of the episode...
Henry Allen.
Well, I'm going to talk about the Atom Smasher first. They end up getting the Atom Smasher into some room in a nuclear plant, and they over-radiate him, and he ends up dying.
Right.
And before he dies, Barry's like, "Who sent you? Why are you trying to kill me?" And he's like, the Atom Smasher says, "He said I could go back to normal. He said I could be free. I could see her," or something like that. And he's like, "Who?" And he said, "Zoom." So that's Professor Zoom, who we know is the main overarching villain of this season. Those of you who have been following with the Flash news updates in between seasons. Mm-hmm. And then later on the episode, Henry Allen gets out of jail, which is very, very emotional. I was kind of like tearing up a bit because like that's like a nice like heartfelt thing. And they're having a welcome back party. It's very emotional. Some Renegades by Ex-Ambassadors playing in the background. It was all very, very good. And Henry ends up telling Barry that you can't be all you can be with me here as the Flash.
Right.
So I'm going to go. And Barry, I thought he was going to fight it a little bit more. Okay. Like, no, Dad, stay. But, like, he didn't. He was just like...
Well, he understood where he was coming from.
Yeah.
Because if you think about it, Barry, his whole thing is he joined the CCPD to find out who killed his mother.
Right.
Then he gets the powers, and he decides to basically, kind of like a Batman, where I'm going to use these powers to make sure, like, this doesn't happen to other people.
Right.
So,
but again, it's like its whole motivation,
and get his father out of prison. Now his father's out of prison. Well, what's the point of being the Flash anymore? He's basically, he knows who killed his mom. He got his dad out of prison, like freed him. What's driving him anymore? So if he's not there, his father that is, to like just turn around like, oh, there's my dad. Like I'm living with him, whatever. There's no like strive to want to be better. So I wish Henry Allen stayed around, but I totally get why he didn't.
Yeah.
No, I like the sound of that. It's just I hate it when characters, especially characters who are very intelligent and can realize a situation, still go through that cliche bullshit where they try to like they mope about how their parents are leaving them, but they realize they're not good for them. So
right, it's like doing more harm than good by him staying. So he figures
smart.
He's
He
go.
knows that. I think having his father on was just
Barry's a good kid.
Throw him off.
He's a good boy.
He's good people.
He's good. He's good people.
So
that was episode 2.
You missed one part.
What did I miss?
At the end, they're talking about, oh, we got all new security, like nobody will be able to get in here. All of a sudden, Jay Garrick walks in, and they're like, all right, well, who are you? And he goes, your world is in danger, and I'm here to help you. And they're like, who are you? And he goes, I'm Jay Garrick. Now, I was very excited for Jay Garrick, and if those who are wondering who is he, well, I'll tell you, he is the OG Flash. So there was one before Barry Allen. He was in the 40s, I guess he came around. And he's the one that rocks like the World War I helmet with the ears on, or the wings on it, like Mercury, right? The god Mercury. I always think it's Hermes, but it's Mercury from the Roman Empire. Mm. And he is now in the new continuity. He's from Earth 2, which is like a parallel universe to Earth 1, where Earth 1 is Superman and Batman and Barry Allen, Flash, all that. And then Earth 2 has like older versions. So they have like Alan Scott, Green Lantern. They have Jay Garrick as Flash, all that kind of stuff. So he's here to basically help him because he knows Zoom was giving him a run for his money, so he doesn't want it to happen to Barry Allen's world. Mm-hmm. So he'll be a pretty big character in the remaining of the season because he's been Flash for a while. They already kind of set up. And he's the Crimson Comet to Barry Allen's Scarlet Speedster.
Cute.
Yeah. And that's whose helmet you saw at the end of season 1. If those of you were wondering, like, what the hell's that helmet? When it comes through the portal, that's whose helmet that is. So they have his helmet. He actually just came back to look for his helmet. He wasn't even there to help. He's like, hey, you guys see my helmet? Ah, great. There it is. Thanks so much. And he's like, okay, see ya. Just zips out. But, yeah, so that was Flash. What about Arrow?
So Arrow season 4. Wow.
Yeah.
Season 4.
Yeah, it makes me feel old.
That's weird to say. Arrow season 4. My sister had her Sweet 16 birthday party on Friday, and they're playing songs like 1-2 Step by Sierra. I was like, wow, this song came out when I was in 4th grade. Wow. Like that was making me feel old.
Right.
And then last night, I'm out with a couple of the drumline staff I work with at my old high school, and the one guy who comes, he's always like 40s.
Okay.
Like 40s, and he's like, oh, this song came out when I was in 10th grade, and it was another one, Bites the Dust. It's like, and he's like, yeah, sound came out when I was in 10th grade, 1980. And he's just like, were any of you alive? And like the next oldest guy was like, no, I was born in 1982. So like, I was like, oh no, I don't feel as old anymore. Thank you so much.
Yeah. But no, saying Arrow season 4, when I remember sitting on my couch downstairs watching the pilot of Arrow, is weird to me.
Yeah.
It's the first show that I think I've watched from the beginning religiously on TV. Because other shows I've come in late to or I've left or whatever. This one's like the first one that I've watched.
Yeah.
Start to finish.
Episode 1 of season 4 of Arrow,
called The Green Arrow.
Is, I think, between me and Dan, since Pat's again a butt face and not caught up.
He's typing a term paper over here while we're on a podcast.
No, he's not. He can't even connect to the Wi-Fi right now.
I just hear him typing over there.
It's on my Wi-Fi's on here.
Okay. Dan and I both think it was probably the better season premiere compared to Flash.
Yes.
Think so? Even Gotham? Would you say even Gotham?
Gotham premiere?
Yeah.
I think they're different enough that you couldn't compare them.
But it was very good. Big things. Super big. You want to talk about it?
Okay, so I was explaining this morning to Rachel, who I said picked up Flash, and I was telling her...
shout out to Rachel.
Yeah. I was telling her to watch Arrow, and then, of course, Nate was saying, don't watch Arrow. Or you don't need to watch Arrow to watch Flash. I was like, yes, you do. He's like, no, yes, you do. I was like, you do.
Nate, what are you doing, man?
You'll enjoy Flash that much more if you do watch it. That being said, you don't have to, but you'll just enjoy it that much more. Anyway,
because you see the origins of Barry Allen. You see the first viewing of Barry Allen. You're like, oh, look at him.
So anyway, the way season 3 ended, which season 3 was a train wreck.
It wasn't a train wreck.
No, it wasn't.
It was just boring.
It was just
It wasn't as eventful, but you were saying this, Dan, that a lot of key things happened to set up season 4.
Correct. It's going to make season 4 that much better, I think. Mm-hmm. And but what I was getting at was the season finale of season 3, and they did this on purpose. It plays like a series finale. You think that the show's done after that, like everything kind of wraps up, ties up, sort of. But season 4 kind of plays like a pilot episode where, or as Nate was saying, it's like a sequel series, as if we're starting afresh. And that's what they are starting. They're starting brand new. They're coming back.
It's going great so far.
Yeah, one episode so far. But the show opens, or the episode opens with Oliver. I had to remember all these characters. Oliver running through the woods, and he has a green hood on. So you're thinking like, oh, he must be dressed in a suit, whatever. All of a sudden, he comes running out of the woods, and he's in a cul-de-sac with his hood on, and like you just see it, he's jogging
in a neighborhood.
Yeah.
It was so weird.
Yeah, it was
see
weird.
Him like in a domestic,
waving at his neighbors,
at like a domestic place. It was just incredibly weird.
It was very out of place, and he was like, "Yeah, good morning," like all this kind of stuff, real happy, and then he runs inside. He runs inside and sees
the best joke.
Okay.
In my opinion, guys, the best joke that has happened between Arrow, even Flash. I'm saying even Flash. Dan would agree with me. But the best joke that's happened in either season. Go ahead.
So he looks at Felicity, and she's sitting on the counter making this omelet, and she sees him, and they, I think, exchange a kiss or whatever, and then she's like, oh, here, you got to try this omelet. So she puts it in his mouth, he eats it, and he goes, Felicity, you have failed this omelet. And Greg loved it. I was cracking up. I thought it was pretty funny. And like they're both smiling and stuff.
It was so clever. It was just so clever. And then to
continue that joke, that she pops open the garbage can and there's just a pile of omelets in there, just like burnt and gross looking. She just adds to it.
And then Oliver's like a world-class chef.
All of a sudden, yeah, like, oh, I learned this on the island where there was no food, how to cook.
Who cooks all this stuff, and then they have like dinner with their neighbors. It was, again, incredibly weird to see him in a domestic setting having dinner with people who aren't part of Team Arrow. And they're talking about like all these like different recipes, and Felicity's there just like, kill me, please. And you see during the dinner that the neighbors know that Oliver is going to propose to Felicity that night. So they're about to, or Oliver made like souffles or something for after dinner, and he puts like the ring in the souffle. So, it's super cheesy, romantic. And before he like gets them ready to present, the doorbell rings, and it turns out it is Laurel and Thea. And they're like, we need your help.
Right.
And Felicity kind of swayed Oliver to go back, because Oliver talks, he says he misses it, but at the same sense, he's like, I'm totally fine with just like being here.
Right, he's moved on.
He's moved on, but like he still comes back anyways eventually. And the thing, another beginning scene is kind of the leaders of Star City now, not Starling City. It is now Star City. Back to the comics. All of the heads of the city, including Captain Lance, are having this meeting, and in mid-meeting, Damien Dark, a.k.a. the leader of the Hive, a.k.a. Ra's al Ghul's nemesis, shows up, and he's really good. I think the actor he plays him as kind of like a pretentious douchebag, like, yeah, we're gonna do this, and if you don't follow my rules, we're gonna kill you all, and that's it.
Neil McDonough.
Yeah, very, very good, and that's basically what he says to them is like, I run the organization that's been terrorizing the city, and we're going to destroy it and rebuild it. We haven't heard that before.
Yeah. Right.
And if you don't follow me, then you're going to die. But if you do follow me, then your lives will be spared. And then he walks out. So that's kind of like the main villain right now of this first episode.
He's pretty much the overarching villain.
Yeah. And that's who Laurel and Thea need help with.
Mm-hmm.
And Felicity and Oliver, they all go back to the new Arrow Cave, which is...
I don't think that's even the one that they're going to settle with.
You don't think so?
Because I saw a concept art drawing of the Arrow Cave, and it didn't look like that. It looked way more like technologically advanced, and like even just the layout as a whole looked different. Something it's just they needed somewhere, and like it was what they could get access to. That being Thea, Diggle, and Laurel. They're just like, we'll set up base camp here. I think that they're going to move up like to something else.
Yeah, probably. I mean, it's like the basement of a warehouse, but everything's like cinder. Like it doesn't look.
It's very basic. There's only a few things in there.
There's like one desk of a computer.
Yeah, and like Oliver's like case with his costume in it,
and then like a table full of like weapons, and like that's it.
Right, and of course Cisco's the one that designed the costume because he designs everything in this universe.
And Cisco's the man.
He is the man. What was I going to say about this episode?
Coming up, they come back to the cave.
Yes, right. So then Oliver's like, okay, I'll go out and like do surveillance with you, but he's like, I'm not dressing up. He hasn't seen this new costume yet, and so he throws on a ski mask, kind of looking like Diggle from the previous seasons, because Diggle has a new helmet, which
Black
can we
Widow.
talk about that for a second? Because
it's ridiculous. It's actually not that bad. In action, it's not that bad.
It's not, but there's no back to it.
It
looks kind of weird. It's like a paintball mask.
More than anything, it's like a paintball mask / like visor.
Right.
But the first thing you see during the first action scene is like a gun like come out of his sleeve.
Right. It's kind of like getting ready to like it comes
like
out.
in the Old West.
Yeah, like in the Old West, or like just some like random.
Or it kind of reminds me of Taxi Driver.
Yeah, with Travis.
Bickle.
Yeah.
When he like slides.
That's kind of what it is.
Okay, like that.
That's so I mean, it serves a really cool purpose. It's still going to take some time to getting used to indefinitely. But it's not as bad as we all thought it was going to be when we saw the picture.
Right.
It could have been way worse.
Totally. And I think he's going to get it upgraded again. I think it's going to change a little bit.
I'm sure Felicity's going to or Cisco's going to come with some great stuff.
They're going to be like, all right, you're not designing costumes anymore. We're going to give you this one instead.
But Diggle is still super pissed at Oliver.
Very, yeah.
Because of the whole lying to him and Laurel and everybody about the whole Ra's al Ghul and only trusting Malcolm. And Diggle's like, I don't understand. And he's just so like, I can't even trust a man who won't even, tell me, even though I've known him for, whatever. So he's really, really upset about that. So every single time that Oliver would suggest something, Diggle's like, and does like his like Diggle like heavy sigh.
Where he shows off his huge biceps.
Massive forearms. Oh my God. It's like the size of my thigh.
Yeah, he's pretty in shape. Yeah. I would say almost bigger than Oliver himself.
Oliver, well, he's been doing, what's the challenge he does on Facebook?
Oliver?
Yeah,
Stephen Amell?
Stephen Amell. Like he does these pull-ups where he pulls up and then he pulls himself all the way up, maxes out, kind of just like holding himself there, and then comes back down. I forget what he calls them, but like he's been trying to get back into that. So he's trying to get bigger, people. He's trying to look like season 1 Oliver. But right now, he looks like Oliver just had a kid and is currently getting dad belly, like Stephen Amell is in real life. No offense, Steve.
Like Vin Diesel is.
Like, People are giving him so much crap. I feel bad for Vin. I really do.
Yeah, it's like, all right, he didn't have to work out. It's like,
No.
look at you who's complaining.
I
Like,
mean, it's the same thing that happened to Arnold. Like, when that picture with Arnold came out in his bathing suit, people were like, what the hell is that? I mean, no, he's a human.
can slack off.
He's a human being. He's not the
Right.
Terminator full time, and Vin Diesel's not,
He's like in his late 40s or something.
Dom full time either, you know? They're human beings.
He's like in his mid 40s or something.
But Oliver definitely looks
Vin
like...
Diesel's like 48.
Yeah, so he can...
I
I think
think
he's
he's
done
almost
enough
50.
to slack off a little
No,
bit.
Vin Diesel, you can do whatever you want, man.
Yeah.
We give our permission to you to let you do whatever
Right.
you want. Because we have...
And one of those things could be coming on here.
Yeah, so dude. No, so I mean Stephen Amell is like trying to get bigger. But anyway, so they like go out and do surveillance, and they're at some warehouse where Damien Dark is talking to all of his soldiers, and he's talking to the one soldier that messed up when Thea, Laurel, and Diggle were stopping their hijacking in one of the first scenes of the episode. And he's talking to him, he's like, oh, you know, just a mishap, but we fixed it and everything's okay. And Damien Dark's like, that's shit. No, it's not. And you see for the first time in the TV universe, magic.
Mm-hmm.
And it's Damien Dark basically sucking the life out of this guy just by putting his hand on his body. You going to say something?
I was going to say, it's not like the first time we saw, because we saw a little bit of magic with Ra's al Ghul. Like the Lazarus Pit is technically magic,
But I'm talking about
but like from a person.
Yeah, like a telepathy magic type thing,
Right.
telekinetic in a way.
Yeah.
Like, it's the first time we've seen that, and everybody is, like, freaking out. Thea, her voice changer is so funny.
Well, we haven't figured out if it is a voice changer or she does something to
I don't
it.
know, whatever Willa Holland's doing right now, she sounds like she sounds like she's been in the cast of Alvin and the Chipmunk, basically. Like, she sounds
it's
like...
not that
she
bad.
she sounds like an 8-year-old boy. Like, that's what she sounds like. Or a 12-year-old whose balls haven't dropped yet.
Well, that's very different than a chipmunk.
Oh, I mean, it's very, like, randomly high-pitched voice that isn't hers. Like, hers is normally kind of, like, deeper and raspier.
Right. But not like manly at all.
Not
just
manly,
raspier.
well, she smokes. Willa Holland smokes, so, like, it's going
Right.
to sound a little more raspier than the normal non-smoking woman.
Right.
But it doesn't sound like, hey, guys, how's it going? Like, you know what I mean?
That was gross.
Are we not going to talk
watch.
about what we just saw right there?
Stop doing that.
What are you talking about?
No.
It's in the face.
Just not gonna
It's
look
the
at you
face that's
anymore.
doing it for you.
But so after they go back and they kind of regroup and everything, and then they decide we got to go back out. Let's try and stop him. Blah blah blah. And Oliver's like, no, I'm out. And then so they convince him to go. And Felicity's like, if you go, you get this new suit. And she like unveils, and it's like a nice new like leather suit that can hold probably twice as many arrows as he was before. So that's always good. And
Short
the bow,
sleeve, good for you know, reaction time and free range of the arms.
yes.
Showing off.
Showing off
And
the guns.
so then he goes out and he tries. Well, we forgot to mention that Damien Dark and his goons are trying to send a train, like that. This new train that's coming in from Central City.
It's a new terminal because Star City's trying to get back on the map because nobody wants to come to Star City anymore. Because let's be honest, Star City's pretty much like Gotham in a way.
in this world.
In this world, it is. You also forgot to mention though that Diggle had a talk with the wifey. Mm-hmm. Lila was like, "Hey, I've forgiven Oliver. Why can't you stop being a bitch and also forgive Oliver?" Diggle's like, "You're right. I'm gonna try to start forgiving Oliver," but he doesn't do it initially. But he's like said like, "I'm going to like give you another chance."
Right, and then so they figure out
Lila smack.
They figure out that
Lila smack.
that the bomb is on the train, so they have to stop the train. And basically, what they end up doing is Oliver shoots an arrow at a explosively active train. He hits the train with an arrow that explodes.
We're not going to talk about the in between.
What? The video.
No, not even the. Wait, what video?
You remember he hacks into like the cable network.
Oh no, that's afterwards. I'm talking about
That's what I
beforehand.
thought. Yeah.
Where he surveillances the train and like breaks into the train, and then Oliver comes face to face with Damien Dark and does his arrow thing, and Damien's like no, and puts his hand out in front, and the arrow just is in mid-air.
Like he stops.
And Damien's just like "Achoo!" and like throws it back at him. And Oliver's like, I'm gonna shoot more arrows. That's gonna work, and it doesn't. Damien Dark stops it again, and, "Achoo!" and throws it back at Oliver.
Yeah. So then they end up Damien, I guess, gets off the train, and then he gets off the train, and then he blows it up to stop it, and it's like, yay, day is saved. And then when he goes back, they're like, all the cops and people are like, who did this? All of a sudden, the video comes on.
Because Oliver now decides to officially be back.
Right.
But, continue.
So then he makes this video, and it kind of reminded me of V for Vendetta when he gets on. It's just like, this is what I'm going to do. So he basically was like, I'm here to protect your city. The Arrow's dead. I am the Green Arrow. Mm-hmm. And, like, he was in mask. And I'm, like, looking at this guy, and there's no way in hell that you wouldn't be able to tell that that's Oliver.
Yeah.
Like, come on. It's like looking straight at him.
The hood does not cover the face as much as the previous
It's
ones
not as
have.
deeper.
It's not as... No.
Deep, I mean.
It's very much like a baggy, like, pullover hoodie that you just kind of, like...
Right.
Have, and, like, that's it.
But, it works.
No.
It works
and
enough.
And
then...
So, I legitimately had an anxiety attack.
He did.
I was freaking out. I chewed, like, 3 pieces of gum at the same time because I just had to... So...
We'll let him explain.
After that, you get the commercial, I think.
Mm.
And then...
A lot of commercials in this episode.
There's a ton of commercials in Arrow. CW, get your shit together.
They got to pay for that show somehow.
It's like probably the most expensive show right now.
Probably.
So, yeah,
that or Walking Dead.
That's not CW.
It's AMC.
Oh, I thought you meant just in general.
Nah, we're talking about CW.
CW.
I
okay.
understood you, Patrick.
Thank you.
I'm here for you.
Somebody has to.
So you come back from commercial, and there is it fades in, and you see the tagline 6 months later. And you see Oliver dressed in a black suit standing in front of a grave. And he's looking down at it. Fresh grave. And Barry zooms in, speeds in. I'm going to say speeds in because the next part...
Now it's confusing.
Yeah.
I'm going to say speeds in. And he's like, sorry, I missed it. And Oliver's like, it's all right. Zoom. So this is 6 months later, which means it's going to happen later on in the season of when this is actually going to happen.
Right.
And Barry's like, yeah, if it wasn't for him, I would have been here. And Oliver says something like, it wasn't my fault.
I don't blame myself.
I don't blame myself, but it's my job to
stop it. Yeah.
And he starts crying. And I'm getting goosebumps right now just thinking about this. I'm having an anxiety attack because initially my first thought is like, and they keep going, and they zoom really close in Oliver's face, and they don't show you the grave. They don't show you the tombstone.
Barry says, can I help? And he goes, no, I'd rather be alone. So he leaves. So now Oliver's by himself.
Oliver's by himself, and they zoom into his face. There's a couple tears, which great. Bravo.
Single man tear.
Bravo, Stephen Amell.
The sexy tear. Yeah.
Sexy tear, man. Is that sad to say that? Is that like a bad thing to say sexy tear? Oh, God, he's cries.
Like, you just look so hot while you cry.
I mean, that's what it's going for, yeah.
I mean, probably. But, like, they zoom in and, like, they don't show you the tombstone, and I scream. I'm like, no! You cannot do that to us right now! And I'm freaking out because I think it's Diggle. I still think it's Diggle. Mm-hmm. I do. I don't want to think it's Diggle, but I think it's Diggle.
The reason I don't think it is, unless they're just trying to throw us off, is that line that he says, I don't blame myself. Because there's no way if it was Felicity or Diggle that he wouldn't blame himself.
Then who else could it... So we talked about... We had a long, extensive conversation.
Multiple times
of counting on our fingers, who could it be?
Right.
Our main... After the first night, we talked about it being Malcolm. Mm-hmm. And we said Malcolm because of the way he helped Oliver with Ra's al Ghul. They're kind of like... They're mutual now.
They're like frenemies.
Yeah, they're like frenemies. But, so we thought that was like, oh, it's Malcolm, and then I calmed down because I realized it wasn't Diggle. And then the next day, Dan shows me this article of like this fan voting thing of like who everybody thinks it is. Mm-hmm. And, it was like Felicity, and Malcolm wasn't on there. And
he wasn't at all.
He wasn't on there. And I was like, oh, well, that makes sense because everybody thinks Malcolm's dead from the first season, where he supposedly died in the earthquake. And then I went back to having another anxiety attack because I went back to the realization it's probably Diggle. But other than that, like, yeah, I don't blame myself. Quentin Lance is the only other person he wouldn't blame himself for. Only other person.
Unless he wasn't around when it happened. So, for example, like if for Oliver was doing something, and then whoever it is that dies, and he wasn't there to stop it, then he may not blame himself. But if he was like there and he could have stopped it, and then like something happened where he didn't, and he like sees it, he would definitely have blamed himself. So it could still be anybody.
Don't say that.
You better get your gum out.
Freaking I just because like I mean, like I said, like like Lila smacked, Diggle's like trying to start to forgive Oliver. And like it's gonna happen, and they're gonna be bros again.
And he would definitely blame himself if it was Lila too, because it would destroy his relationship with Diggle for sure.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, I can't.
Dead air.
I know. Diggle's brother's still alive.
Andy, yes. No, he was killed by Deadshot though, wasn't he?
Wasn't he? Was he?
We thought so.
No. Because remember the fan theory that he actually works for the Hive?
Mm-hmm.
Because Deadshot killed him for the Hive?
Right.
But there's some villain... I'm blanking right now because I can't remember the article. But they talked about him being kind of like a super assassin in a way. Or like the lead henchman, like go-to guy. Like, hey, I need this guy killed. Go kill this guy. For the Hive.
Right.
And they talked about this.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's Andy. I don't know why I'm bringing it up, but I just don't want it to be anybody. I don't want it to be anybody main. I don't want it to be. Oh my god! Like, who else? Who else is gonna come back? Who else is gonna come back?
Like
who's gonna come back? That's gone.
It's not gonna be Slade.
No.
God, no. He wouldn't care. He'd be like, "Cool, perfect."
I mean, I'm sure he'd be saddened, but he wouldn't be. He would not have been as sad as he was at that tombstone, crying over Slade. He would have been like, so long, old friend, and then like middle finger and walk out. Like that's probably what, or maybe like piss on his grave or something. I don't know. But
I miss you so much.
I don't think we'll ever see Slade again.
Well, he's in jail right now.
It's also his birthday today.
Is it really?
Manu Bennett's 46.
He's gonna get a very happy birthday present in prison.
Oh, come on,
man, come on.
Yuck! He's getting an arrow in the. Never mind. Ew.
But
unless he's the giver.
So anyway, I don't know. I can't think of another person, and it's freaking me out.
I'm having some deja vu for a second. I feel like we've talked about something like this before.
What?
With Slade or somebody going to prison?
Slade getting raped in prison? Is that what we've had this conversation?
Something like this before, yeah.
No, we've not had this conversation before.
Maybe it just wasn't Slade. Maybe it was somebody else.
I don't know. Maybe.
But I wish Slade would come back.
Yeah, me too.
In full form. Like, I feel like they used him. Like, they should have had it where he didn't get captured. Maybe he just went away for a while.
Yeah.
Or he escapes from the prison.
Yeah, like when he escaped from prison on...
was that season 3, right?
Season 3. What's the island called?
Nanu Parbat.
No, Nanda Parbat is where Ra's al Ghul is.
Oh, you're right.
It's with a P?
I don't know. The island.
Anyway, I'm gonna look this up right now so I can say it eventually, so I can actually sound like a fan. When he gets, when he loses them and escapes, and then gets captured again, like that's not fun.
Right. Like he should have had it where they don't get him.
He should have had somebody on call ready for him to fly him the F out of there.
Right. Because how cool would it have been if Damien Dark brings Slade back in and kind of sends him back to get Arrow. Mm-hmm. Hires him or whatever.
Leanne Yu. I'm trying.
Leanne Yu.
I'm trying not to swear.
I don't think we did. I think we did pretty good.
I think we've done well. We're trying to swear less.
I think it was me actually. I
mean, I think I might have said shit, but I don't think I said Did I drop an F word? Did I drop the F bomb?
Not yet.
I don't think you said fuck.
Did you just say the fuck word?
Did I say what?
Did you say the fuck word?
The fuck word?
Yeah.
I don't know what that is.
The fuck word.
What's the fuck word?
Fuck.
Fuck.
Yeah. It's
yeah.
the fuck word.
Oh. And how do you pronounce it again?
Fuck.
And how do you pronounce it, Patrick?
Fuck.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't think we said that yet.
Where the hell was this going?
Just try to make a joke.
There you guys go.
There's your F word quota.
There you go. Have we reached it? What was the one? It was the Justin Bieber roast. Mm-hmm. Where Snoop Dogg just dropped so many F-bombs and Kevin Hart's I think we had 13 F-bombs and you blew every single one of them.
Yeah, you
Snoop.
used every one of them. Yep.
But another really cool thing that happened in Arrow, which I was very excited for because I'm a very huge fan of this guy. In one of the flashbacks where Oliver and Amanda Waller are in a bar in Coast City, the very first picture of the scene is a dude wearing a pilot's jacket with the name Jordan embroidered in the jacket. And Dan and I were very, very excited about it. And our friend Krista, who we were watching it with, was really upset that we were like freaking out. And like in between scenes and things, when things weren't happening, we were like, "That's Hal Jordan, the Green Lantern." She's like, "Oh!"
Basically, when Amanda Waller was talking, we're like, "Oh, that's Hal Jordan." So,
no offense, Amanda. She's good though. Who that actress is?
Yeah, I'm glad that they're still like using her like as Amanda Waller, and they're not like, "Oh, Suicide Squad movie, we can't use her anymore."
Yeah.
Unless they're trying to like use her quickly before like the movie comes
Maybe.
out. Because they're probably not going to ever do a Suicide Squad episode again, which is unfortunate. That's why they got rid of Deadshot.
Yeah, I like that episode. That was a good episode.
He was so good, that guy.
He was a good Deadshot, yeah.
He was. I wish he was. No offense to Will Smith, because I haven't seen Will Smith yet, so I can't really judge. But that guy would have made a great Deadshot.
You would have.
In the cinematic universe.
Well, you have to remember, they're doing a multiverse thing, so he technically is Deadshot. Just like Will Smith is Deadshot.
Yeah,
just like Ezra Miller is the Flash.
Well, they still
like
haven't confirmed yet they're doing a multi-universe.
No, they did.
They did officially.
Well, I was reading earlier today that they basically decided.
Where? What's your source? MLA format. Come on.
I don't remember, but it was basically they were saying like they're keeping it separate, and they wanted to do a multiverse. Not so much like that they connect, it's just multiverse so that they can have creative freedom. They don't have to worry about connecting it, but they have the potential to connect it down the line.
But in that sense, a Suicide Squad is still imminent in the TV series.
Yeah, so they could still do Suicide Squad, but they may not.
You would have to address that indiscrepancy with the two different Deadshots.
They probably just want to like be like, all right, you cool it on the dead or on this Suicide Squad while we rock it with this movie for a little while. And then maybe once the movie's out, maybe they do another Suicide Squad thing.
Maybe. I don't know.
But who knows?
But the whole Hal Jordan thing was super cool. The only downside is that the creators and writers have said that we know we're in Coast City, clearly, and we know that you guys want some Green Lantern references, but we're only going to give one. Right? Is that correct? Am I correct on that? That they said that?
They were saying it's definitely going to show up in the pilot or the premiere, which it did. And then they went in the background. You'll see on a banner it says "Welcome to Coast City," and it says "In brightest day and darkest night, where money is best spent at night, come to Coast City," or something like that. So like they took like Hal Jordan's oath and like kind of turned it into a billboard.
Why are they only doing like one?
Well, because Hal Jordan's such a big character.
Right.
A huge character. Now, granted, Flash another big character, but like characters like Green Lantern to all of a sudden introduced, oh, this is this dude who was contacted by aliens, given this ring, and now he's pretty much
they'll bring that'll be the CW's like franchise into like a whole new level.
Well, it would
just space travel.
They also need a lot more money to do that.
Right, because you think about it, Green Lantern's whole powers is based on like something that's not there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's building things out of his ring.
That'd be like Arrow and Flash's budget combined just to make that look good.
You'd probably be able to do it as like a crossover thing. Like he would have to really just come and go.
Like you have to be like a bottle episode.
Yeah, so I understand why they're not doing it. But the other thing that I was pointing out consistently throughout the episode, because I really wanted to see it, is that Hal Jordan's brother lives in Coast City with his family. Mm-hmm. And I was really hoping that it was going to be the Jordans that Oliver and Felicity were having dinner with in the beginning of the episode.
Breakfast.
Was it breakfast?
Yeah, they were eating eggs.
Or was it
or brunch?
I think it was brunch. But I mean, either way, they were eating, and I was like, "Oh man, I wonder if this is the Jordan family," because Hal has a little brother who is the exact opposite of Hal, who is very introverted, high anxiety, really not a brave person, and he has a lot of fear. Mm-hmm. Hal is quote unquote fearless. So they're very, very opposite people. So I was wondering if like we would see that. Hopefully down the line, but now the fact that Oliver and Felicity are no longer domestic, that's kind of sad.
Yeah, they don't live in Coast City anymore.
No, I mean, they live in the Arrowcade, basically. They live in Thea's old apartment where
Thea was killed.
They're moving in. They're moving into the apartment, and Felicity's like, wow, this place is so cool. And why isn't she living? I was like, oh, I think Thea's like subletting for a place with Laurel. But this is where... Thea was stabbed. Actually, it was right there. It was just so like nonchalant, like, oh, that's like a normal thing. That I guess.
Yeah, she was stabbed to death by Ra's al Ghul right here, where this table used to be.
Take pictures.
But what was I gonna say?
I don't know. What were you gonna say?
I think just like they could do Hal Jordan without his powers, but I guess if they introduce Hal Jordan,
that's not really
they're going to be like, well, all right, well, just give him his powers. Like, people would be like, we want to see him with his powers. But as you know, their relationship is so close. Green Arrow.
I have Green Lantern. Do I bring my book here? I don't think I bring a book. I have an entire book, which is actually one of the more popular crossovers with just stories of the Green Lantern and Green Arrow.
Right.
And it's like one of like the big things. But yeah, they're like best friends.
This is a series going. Yeah.
It's an ongoing thing.
Yeah, I've seen it at the comic store.
They're best friends.
And I guess it's the same thing as if you wanted to introduce just like a Bruce Wayne character. Mm-hmm. Like have somebody just play Bruce Wayne just for the sake of like giving, like let's say Oliver gets his company back, which I think he's going to at some point. Because we see it in that newspaper from Flash that he gets his Queen ink or whatever. So he'll get it back at some point. And if you had like a Bruce Wayne character come in and just kind of like ruffle his feathers with business, Wayne Enterprises versus Queen.
Well, the problem with that is the fact that Gotham exists.
The show Gotham.
Yeah.
And they have to make a deal with Fox.
They're clearly not in the same time era.
Right.
But people are stupid, and they're no offense to you guys, but like some people are going to be like, but he's on Gotham. That doesn't make they're
both in present day, but it's like they're just in different positions. So and those are definitely separate. Like those you'll never see crossover, and I hope they never cross over.
No,
I just
the only ones that could cross over like across channels is Supergirl if it makes it, and Flash and Arrow because Greg Berlanti works on all of those, and he's possibly doing the Booster Gold movie, and like it's like how do you do all this stuff? Like God bless you, man. Thank you for bringing all this stuff, Greg Berlanti, everyone. We clap for him because he's the him and Jeff Johns are the two like
Jeff Johns.
Driving forces.
The Green Lantern New 52. The New 52 gets a lot of crap, and rightfully so at some points because some of the stories are not the greatest. But the Green Lantern series is. First of all, it's the best series, the most financially best series.
I thought it was Batman.
52. I'm pretty sure it's Green Lantern.
Really,
I believe it. I would believe either one of those.
But it rightfully so. Like I have a whole like series right here up to Brightest Day, and it's just phenomenal. The storyline, just the way he includes Parallax and everything, and how because what ended up happening is Hal gets taken over by Parallax. And pretty much just, like, destroys everything. Like, destroys Coast City, destroys ties with the Lantern Corps, with the Justice League. The only person who doesn't trust him is Batman to, like, re-enter the Justice League after Parallax leaves him. And it's really, really interesting from Hal Jordan to basically start at, like, ground zero and try to work his way back up to Hal Jordan status. Because, like, I mean, all the Lanterns are there. John's, all the more modern main ones, which is John, Guy, and Kyle. And they're all there, and, like, initially they're, like, some of them are kind of on the fence, but, like, Kyle Rayner, who's one of my favorite Green Lanterns, they're all great, what am I talking about? I love all the Green Lanterns, is, like, I'm for Hal 100%. So, like, just the way it's written, Jeff Johns. Good job, Jeff Johns.
Well, he's kind of like the background, he's the Kevin Feige, I think, of the DC television and might even be movie universe. I know Zack Snyder kind of has a lot of say in it too, but I think those two kind of work close together.
I'm sure.
And keeping like the continuity and keeping like moving the story forward. But I think we're gonna wrap this up here because we're at an hour and 7 minutes. Believe it or not.
7. I believe it.
That flew by actually.
It did.
It did fly by, but I feel like
have we been here for 40 minutes?
This is our big 10th episode, which is exciting.
10th episode. Very excited. Be sure to check us out on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Check out our YouTube page. Check us out on iTunes. Potentially, we're going to be working on something to get the podcast on Android. So
we are.
We are. So that's fun fact.
Yeah, I didn't even know that.
So that'll be up there as well. Tell your friends. Tell your enemies.
Tell something else.
Tell your rabbi. Continue.
Next week, so episode 11, we tried to do it for this week, but that didn't happen, obviously. We're going to try video podcast.
Video.
You're going to see how ugly we are and stuff. And just kidding. My
mommy says I'm pretty attractive. So.
Well, that's weird.
My mommy says I'm handsome.
Okay.
She's a little biased.
That's fine then. Yeah, they have to be, don't they?
Yeah. But like, Greg, you just... No,
she's like, you're handsome for radio. That's why I podcast.
I feel like your mom would say that to you. Like
She does.
Your mom's like blatantly honest, like with those kind of things.
Yeah.
Or at least your dad would say that.
Love you, Mom.
Yep.
Your dad would wipe it off.
Here comes the sexy tear. No, but for real. So next week, we're gonna try and do a video version. We should try and ask Ryan to do it for us.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
And we don't have to decide that now.
No.
But we're gonna try and get into the radio station and not get locked out next time. Aaron Harris. So I know you listen to this sometimes, and it's leave that door unlocked because we use it and. Makes us sound better. Otherwise, we sound like this.
Yeah.
So if we can't get into the room, you get this. Okay. When our levels aren't even, and we just sound repulsive, and and we seem to be meaner in this room. I think about correcting one another.
Yeah, we've been
things like that.
I don't know why.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff's going down. Patrick's almost died in this room.
Right here, next to me here.
Right. That's where it happened. I have to sleep in this room. Like, how do you think I feel?
Mm-hmm. Probably fine because you didn't do anything when it happened.
It sprayed into your head.
It only projectiled across the whole room, and you're like, "I'm like, yeah, you okay? Should we stop the podcast?"
Should I get up?
And he's like, turning blue.
You're sitting next to him, and you're just laughing. You're just like.
He actually got up and got me a towel. I mean,
after 5 minutes of you choking,
let him choke it out.
Solo.
He's not choking because he was able to talk. You're just
coughing.
coughing.
There was a time where he was like.
Like, I seriously thought, shit, I'm gonna pass out in any second now.
It would make a huge noise. We'd get a noise complaint from the floor before. Boom, 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 and then they'd be like, "Oh my god, who was that?" And then they'd come up here. It's like, we're trying to study. Can you just keep it down?
But anyway, videos possibly happening next week, and also be sure to check out Lethal Llama, our friend Ryan's YouTube page where he does game commentary. He just posted one on Friday, I believe, which I don't know if Dan's done it yet, but if not, we will share it on our Facebook page.
Mm-hmm. He does a lot of interesting stuff. I'm not a big video game person, but I've watched a lot of his stuff, and he does a really good job of showing you how-tos, and I'm pretty unbiased version of it. I know a lot of people are like, "Oh, I hate this game, and here's why." He kind of goes into it just
fair and balanced.
Pretty fair.
Yeah. He doesn't really try to overdo it. Like those of you who listen, like Penguin Z0, who's one of my favorite game commentators. But he's like, "Oh my god!" And it's uncanny swearing just all the time.
Basically, tries to be funny. Almost what he does.
Well, he's hilarious though.
Right.
He's actually hilarious.
But you almost wonder it's if he's doing it just to be funny, or if he's actually feels that way about the game. Whereas Ryan's just this is actually how I feel.
This is how I feel. This is all the cool stuff you can do. And no, Ryan's great. So Lethal, Lee, and Lethal, and then Llama is spelled with 2 L's.
Normally.
So
yeah, and just like this one.
Check that out. So party on.
Party on.
Party on.